Do you hate litter as much as we do? We're Keep America Beautiful, and we're challenging everyone in America to pick up 25 pieces of litter between now and Earth Day. Take the pledge and join the greatest American cleanup at kab.org/greatest.
Welcome to Do Beautiful Things. I'm your host, Jenny Lawson, President and CEO of Keep America Beautiful. In this podcast, we'll discuss ending litter, the truth behind recycling, and making communities beautiful for people and for a more sustainable future. We'll be talking to industry experts, community leaders, and everyday people who want to do the right thing, including from time to time, my mother. Thank you for joining us. I hope you learned something, and I know I will.
Welcome to Do Beautiful Things. In today's episode, we're talking about the greatest American cleanup, a nationwide movement to create the cleanest and most beautiful America in time for the nation's 250th birthday on July 4th, 2026. We're also celebrating the hard work of individuals and communities leading the charge and making a real impact every day. Because the truth is, it takes all of us. When we work together, small actions become big change. Whether it's picking up litter, planting trees, or painting a mural, every effort matters. And perhaps most important of all, so does inspiring the next generation to care for the places we call home. And our guest today proves that in a big way. We're talking with one of our incredible state leaders here at Keep America Beautiful from Tennessee, someone who brings the community together from the rivers to the mountains to the flatlands. She's leading with purpose and uniting Tennesseans around something bigger than themselves. So let's dive in and see how beautiful things really do start with each of us. Today's guest is Missy Marshall, the Executive Director of Keep Tennessee Beautiful. Since joining the organization in 2013, Missy has led her team to achieve national recognition, including multiple awards from us at Keep America Beautiful. She's a passionate advocate for community engagement, environmental stewardship, and driving initiatives across the state, like Trashercize, which we'll learn more about, that keeps Tennesseans actively picking up litter. Under Missy's leadership, Keep Tennessee Beautiful has expanded, gained new affiliates, and forged powerful partnerships that are making a real impact across the state. Welcome, Missy.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, Jenny.
Well, it's great to have you here, and I thank you for being here in what I know has been a difficult and tragic week across Tennessee. From rain and flooding, tornadoes that have taken lives, Tennessee's been really hit hard this week. How are you, and how are things going?
Fortunately, my family and I we fared well. I will tell you, my husband and I ran. You know, you have storm chasers. We were actually running from tornadoes this past weekend over on the Tennessee-Mississippi line. But I've learned today that that so far, 10 people have lost their lives across our state, mostly in West Tennessee, one particular county, which is an affiliate, Keep McNairy County Beautiful, that lost 6 lives there. And just in our neighboring county in Fayette County, a father and daughter did not survive the storms.
Well, we are sending you all our thoughts and prayers, and I know that's never sufficient, but this has been a challenging weather season across the country.
As you know, Tennessee is the volunteer state, and we're resilient, and we come together, and we will continue to do so, and come in and help where it's needed to get the state back on track and cleaned up.
And I know it's not the first time that these sorts of climate events happen across Tennessee. They're a regular occurrence. And, I think one of the things that people don't always realize, and I would love your thoughts on what happens, is how much litter is moved and created when one of these storm events happen. Can you talk a little bit about what happens to litter in these situations?
I can talk a little bit about, I know what happens to it along the Tennessee River. When you go as far upper east to East Tennessee, for instance, near Carter County and Watauga Lake, when the hurricane, just the debris from that and the flooding has gone downstream. My sister-in-law lives in Knoxville, and they're seeing debris come through the river and the tributaries and the lakes from upstream. And so when we do cleanups along the Keep Tennessee River Beautiful, we did one a couple of years ago that we actually found on one little island a bar from a marina sitting up in the middle of the island, and the blender was still on top of it.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say, was it stocked? That's incredible.
Yes. It's not just the trees and the limbs. It's anything that, the water.
Anything in its path. Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen it from many years prior.
So you've been at this for more than a decade now, leading the work in Tennessee. And it's an interesting model for how work can happen in a state and how different partners come together. What's your story? How did you come to this work? What keeps it exciting? How's the money flow? Who are the partners? What does it look like for you and for Tennessee?
Well, I'll talk a little bit first how I got here. Prior to being chosen as the state leader for Keep Tennessee Beautiful, I worked in state government for over 21 years and worked under 3 administrations within 8 state departments on the team of 9 commissioners, and truly, truly have a servant's heart. I love public service. And so coming to Keep Tennessee Beautiful was just a natural fit for me. I volunteered. You referenced Trashercize. I Trashercized in my county as a volunteer before ever really knowing about the mission of Keep America Beautiful and Keep Tennessee Beautiful. Of course, everyone references the crying Indian, but I do because he truly is the reason that I felt so convicted about littering as a child. So the education works, I can tell you. I know we all set to educate and inspire. And I truly believe when we educate, we inspire people to change their behaviors. And we're the volunteer state. And being, as far as I know, and you can correct me, I believe Keep Tennessee Beautiful is the only state affiliate that is housed within a higher education institution.
And so how does that work? That's a little bit of a different model.
So I am the 3rd director of Keep Tennessee Beautiful, 3rd state leader for Keep America Beautiful in Tennessee. The 1st director, she was a pioneer from West Tennessee who had been a local affiliate for Memphis City Beautiful, Edith Heller. And she went to the state and she took some of her friends from the Memphis area, like former Judge Larry Potter, who was an environmental judge, and they educated the legislature to create a state affiliate. And how Keep Tennessee Beautiful came to be a part of the University of Memphis, which typically in our state, if you're a statewide organization, just logistically, you're usually in the Middle Tennessee area because you're servicing all areas of the state. But it was set up through an executive order. The governor appoints the board for Keep Tennessee Beautiful. There's 14 citizens from across the state, and then the commissioners from various departments, like the Department of Homeland Security and Safety, Department of Environment and Conservation, Transportation, Agriculture, Economic Community Development, Tourist Development. The commissioners or their proxies are board members. And so there's the advisory board, statewide representation. And then the program is funded by the Tennessee Department of Transportation through the TDOT Litter Grant, which is private dollars that run through state government and then dispersed with a formula through the Litter Grant. And so Keep Tennessee Beautiful serves as an education arm for the Department of Transportation's Highway Beautification Office.
Across the network, there's so many complex pathways that go into establishing organizations that focus on litter, on education, on beautification efforts. And so it's just always interesting to me what that story is. And I find the distribution of members on your advisory committee to be really interesting. It really points to all of the different parts of the state's work that are affected and impacted when there are efforts for litter cleanup, for beautification. Like each of those different organizations has a stake in a good, positive outcome in Tennessee.
Yeah, we're very fortunate here. And when we do our state leaders council meetings in person twice a year, and then when we meet with you quarterly, I feel so fortunate to have the framework and the model that we have here in the state, because I know several of our affiliates, especially right now, fundraising is just difficult to do fundraising. There's so many competing factors. And so I believe it really speaks to the state of Tennessee's commitment to beautification and education in our state. Of course, tourism is our second largest industry. And so I believe the leaders understand that people do not want to come to a dirtied and littered state and vacation. And so it's a high priority here, and I'm grateful for that.
Part of what makes it all sing is how you all approach engaging Tennesseans, right? Especially young people. That education message comes through. And I've met Cash Daniels at your conference a couple of years ago. And I know there are other great programs that you have or are just about to release related to engaging young people, which is, I really believe, where we're going to catch everybody in this initiative to beautify places and clean up litter, improve recycling around the country. So how does that live within Keep Tennessee Beautiful? How do you all approach engaging young people in your work?
Well, obviously, I think, not to sound cliche, but we all know that the youth are the future. And when we speak to education and inspiring, we have to be able to connect with one another. And so that was when I was so inspired by Cash when he was younger. I've been in this role 11 years and met Cash within my second year being at Keep Tennessee Beautiful, and was inspired by not only him and his passion for conservation and fish and wildlife, that his parents embraced that and supported that. And we as leaders should do the same. Leaders should be creating and developing future leaders. It is the youth that are coming and educating parents and grandparents on the importance of recycling and composting and, reduce, reuse. And so we took the idea of a coloring book and said, what can bring education, marketing, branding, and fundraising? And so we actually sell this book, and the proceeds go into a scholarship fund that my board members have coined the 3 Grand Division Scholarship Fund. Last year, we were able to award 3 scholarships. This year, we awarded 9.
Oh my gosh.
The power and importance of partnership, one of the ways, aside from now selling the book, through our board member who represents the Department of Tourist Development, the Commissioner of Tourist Development called last year and said, we are taking over the Bill Dance Signature Lakes. They are very committed to conservation and engaging the youth. And so they do things like the fishing rodeos and wanted to incorporate cleanups in that. So I was honored to be offered and excited to agree for Keep Tennessee Beautiful to be the official beautification partners for the Bill Dance Signature Lakes. And through that, every time we do a cleanup, the foundation will send a check for $4,000 per cleanup to the scholarship fund.
Oh, nice.
We are just so excited to be a part of that partnership. That's just one of many that has helped us achieve our mission. With that, we're also launching a YouTube channel. I don't know about you, but our youngest son is 19 and he YouTubes everything.
Everything.
Yes. So we're like, what is a way to connect with them? So we're currently working on some creative content and to get ideas on how to really connect educate, and inspire through our YouTube channel.
That's just terrific. I think that there are so many elements, at least as we sort of come up to the national Keep America Beautiful level and the things we're thinking about around this sort of celebrating young people taking action in that sort of 12 to 20-year-old space, right? Like those kids who are just out there doing really interesting, creative work, and their leadership and fresh ideas and innovation and their ability to get their friends to come along on the journey with them. It's so powerful. And then just this reality that young people today, and increasingly all of us, live in that YouTube social media channel environment, at least for some of the days. And I think we are really seeing that as such a great opportunity to follow suit at the national level and support and inspire those kids as well. So, congratulations to you all. You're always out in front on these things as well. And the other place where I think I'm probably going to be in the back of the pack is trying to keep up with you in Trashercize. So we've been hinting at it. I can only imagine that it has something to do with putting on my tennis shoes.
Yes. And, right now we're Trashercizing across Tennessee. For those that are listening, I'm actually showing a safety vest that says Trashercize across Tennessee. Of course, it's sponsored by the Tennessee Department of Transportation. And so Trashercize, it was, when we talk about community, everything that we are at Keep America Beautiful, the beauty of Keep America Beautiful, when we go in or asked to come in and talk about the benefits of being a part of it, there's no one size fits all. As you know, every community is different. What works in one may not work in the other. And so a community outside of Nashville, it's about 25 miles south of Nashville, called Leapersport. This was created, like I said, before I was ever a part of Keep Tennessee Beautiful. I was Trashercizing in Leapersport. My cousin called me up one day and she was like, "What are you doing this weekend?" She used to live down the street from me. I said, "Well, Saturday I'm going to be running errands." And she was, "No, you need to come Trashercize with me." And I laughed. I was like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." But it's Trashercize. I thought she was being funny, let's just go pick up trash and walk. Well, that's kind of what it is. But the founder of Trashercize, he and his wife, Aubrey and Michelle Preston, were on their way to the gym. And the road that leads to this now very popular village of Leapersport, it is also the road to a landfill. And so, as you can imagine, we see it all across America where you can look where most littered roads are. And he said, it's ironic we're going to the gym to pay someone to work us out. I bet we could get some calories burned in a workout just walking this road and picking up trash. So it's something they did. They did as a couple. They'd go Trashercize, and then they decided to host a community event. And so many people showed up. And so it's been going on, I know, at least for over 16 years. I can't even remember the exact date as to when it started. And so, we were all sheltered in place during the pandemic. And every year to roll out the Great American Cleanup in Tennessee, we start with March, is Keep Tennessee Beautiful Month. And we have a pep rally, just to really inspire those volunteers that lead those Great American Cleanups throughout their communities. And we'll have a theme, whether it's plant the state green and something that just encourages the behavior that we're trying to promote. And so I asked the Leapersport Foundation, could we borrow your brand? Could we take Trashercize across Tennessee? It's so popular there in Leapersport. And it was a way to get people moving.
Yeah.
And we have 95 counties in Tennessee. We've not yet hit all 95 counties, but we're not going to stop because Trashercize is not an event. It's a way of life. It's an activity. So whether it is, we will have a Trashercize to introduce the concept, but then we let them keep the vest that I showed you. In Leapersport, when the village shows up to Trashercize, there is a fitness coach that they'll have different moves like pulling the daisies, whether it's jumping jacks, pulling the daisies, a warm up, everybody's laughing, having a great time, and then we go out and pick up trash.
That's awesome. And I assume we can get from you the links so that people can sort of see what it's all about for themselves if they think that's something they might want to share in their community.
Yes. And or if they just want to Trashercize individually,
Yeah.
they can go to keeptnbeautiful.org, register, and we'll send them a vest and a grabber and gloves. And, it's something you can do individually or you can do as a group. So, yes, we'll share.
That's awesome. I think back to the education message, there is no better education than walking out your own front door and committing to picking up litter for the course of your walk. It opens your eyes to the extent of the problem and how litter hides in our communities, right? And whether you're living in an urban environment or, I'm sort of semi-rural out here in Connecticut, the number of pieces of litter I can pick up on any given day walking out my own front door is astounding to me. And after that, you can't not see it, right?
Yeah.
You just start to see it and be more sensitive to the impact of that litter in your environment. I know it seemed to be cold, frozen, and stay frozen here in Connecticut this winter for months, but that meant snow upon snow upon snow, and then all of a sudden rain and floodwaters. And the amount of litter that collected, frozen in the snow and then defrosted, was astounding. And there was a special community cleanup to take care of it. And the people turned out. And I think we have this new data from Harris polls that said, right now there's so much chaos in so many different directions for so many people. And people really feel like cleaning up their community is a refreshing break from whatever ails them, right? And it's a chance to come together. You were saying people get their friends out and you do it together. And by the end, everybody's laughing, having a good time, sharing the weirdest piece of litter they collected, whatever the thing. So yeah, congratulations to the initiative. And I know you all keep really focused on that. And I think the other thing that you do that I'm always so impressed with is how you elevate and celebrate leadership for work, whether it's a young person or the folks who invented Trashercize. And then your Leaders Against Litter Award. Can you talk a little bit about what that's about?
Yes, being a leader myself and serving in my community as an elected leader. So I'm not picking on elected officials at all. Prior to me even being in the leadership role with my community, I would go to cleanups and I would see our local affiliates call upon their local leaders to come and be a part of their events, or at least to say a few words to encourage and thank the citizens that had, showed up to volunteer. And in a few instances, I would see actually whether it was mayors or commissioners, council members, they would put on their gloves and a vest and grab a bag and clean up alongside their constituents. But more times than not, I would, and I get it because I know now, whether it's a ribbon cutting or it's a policy meeting or a constituent has asked to meet with you on a matter, the schedules are busy. Yeah. And so, but for those that were really leading by example, I thought that was really important to recognize that because, as you know, the first step to becoming a certified affiliate is getting a letter from your highest elected official, a letter of support that they're going to support this endeavor and support the individual and the board that is leading it. And so I added to our kickoff event in March, that's our Keep Tennessee Beautiful Great American Cleanup official kickoff. We started with an award called Love Where You Live Award, and it's granted to one Tennessean each year who has been nominated because they have given their times, their talents, their resources to improving and making their community better. And so after a few years in this role, I went to our team and I was like, I really want to add a leadership award for elected officials. Because if we can educate them and engage them, wow, we can build our champions, are the policymakers that can help make all these things happen.
Yeah.
And so our Leader Against Litter Award goes to, and they're nominated from across the state, go to elected officials who lead by example in their communities and take part in the events that they host.
It's a great example, again, I think, about how you have just so very carefully chosen to celebrate and recognize as a way to shape behavior, right? We all know from behavior change research around litter that incentivizing and engaging is the actual way that people change behavior. Folks want to scold people and fine people, and actually our research shows over and over that the more you celebrate and engage the behavior that you want, that really is an important part of the solution. And as you know, we're celebrating and engaging leaders across the country right now as part of the Greatest American Cleanup. And this is our call to action across the organization at a national level to invite communities, and so many of communities in Tennessee are on board for this, to help us pick up 25 billion pieces of litter, which is half of all the litter that's out there in our lands and waters, and to get 25,000 communities to sign on and get engaged. And we are grateful for all that Keep Tennessee Beautiful is doing and helping us get connected to communities. What's been the response as you share the Greatest American Cleanup with communities across the state?
It's very positive. I think you remember being in Chattanooga, was the Chattanooga mayor. You encouraged him and he signed on right there. I'm really excited because I received an invitation this week to participate in a meeting with our 250 Commission.
Oh, good.
This coming Friday. And so I am getting the feeling, I know our Department of Tourist Development, our assistant commissioner that serves on our board, is very actively encouraging that volunteerism. I mean, we're talking about America's birthday, but we want to celebrate it in a way that honors our states and our history. And what a better way than the volunteer state getting out there, encouraging our Tennesseans to volunteer, to make their communities better and pick up litter.
And it's a role that everyone can play. And just for folks who are listening, the America 250 Commission is appointed by Congress and the White House to be responsible for how America will celebrate its 250th birthday. So it's a national commission. There is a congressional caucus that supports it. 265 plus members are a part of that. And Keep America Beautiful is delighted to be a partner along with our affiliate network to that effort and to that organization. And it's great to see state by state folks starting to really engage in what America 250 is doing around volunteerism, and then how we live that through volunteering around the Greatest American Cleanup. So, Missy, it has been a terrific conversation. Thanks so much for giving people a little insight into what it's like to be a part of the KAB network, and just a shining example of how it can really work to help states and communities meet their goals for cleaner, greener, and more beautiful communities. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm always excited to talk about our mission and inspire people. So I appreciate the opportunity.
A huge thank you to Missy Marshall as we wrap up today's episode of Do Beautiful Things. She is so passionate and so motivated. I leave every conversation with her ready to just jump in again and help make the change happen that she is making happen across Tennessee. Whether you're young or young at heart, she'll help you take action for a cleaner, more sustainable future. If you're feeling inspired or motivated by today's conversation and want to get involved, head to kab.org/greatest to learn more about the Greatest American Cleanup and to take our pledge. Whether you join a litter cleanup, plant wildflowers, or recycle just a little more, your efforts truly matter. Until next time, take care, stay informed, and let's keep doing beautiful things together. See you in the next episode.